Hello, I am Xarkun. This is World of Warships Legends. Today we're going to go over the patch notes for the update that is coming out October 5th, 2020. That's Monday. After this video is published, enjoy the Nelson game that plays in the background. Now, this is a fairly big update, perhaps not as content-rich as the previous one, but it contains some things that I'm sure you guys will find interesting. It's certainly bringing at least one thing, or at least one change to a certain destroyer tech tree line that I think will at least be interesting. But first up, we've got the Steel Redeemer campaign. Apparently a bunch of you guys have been asking Wargaming for another destroyer campaign, and they're gonna deliver just that in October. The reward for this campaign will be the Tier 6 Premium American Destroyer USS Benham. Benham is a unique USNDD in that it is not a gunboat, but a torpedo boat featuring 8 torpedo launchers on either side of the ship for a total of 16 torpedo launchers. Since Benham is a Tier 6 rather than a Tier 7 ship, the Steel Redeemer campaign will spread across 80 milestones rather than the 100 featured in the most recent Roma campaign. If you'd like to get an idea of how Benham might play, I've linked a Flamu video in the description. Keep in mind, however, that the way a ship plays on PC doesn't always directly translate to Legends. As we all know, the Grosse Kurfürst, for example, is quite a different ship on PC. Now, apart from Benham, the campaign will yield other rewards, namely Halloween 2020 crates, which will contain items ranging from disposable rust bucket camos to give your ships a, quote, battle and time-worn look, unique Halloween commanders specializing in destroyers for the US, Germany, and Russia, and a special currency called tabs that can later be spent on upgrading Halloween ships, which I assume means Halloween event ships, more on that in a minute, and acquiring special store items, including the Tier 6 Premium Soviet Destroyer Ognavoy. Additionally, Grade 4 permanent Halloween-themed camos can be found in the Halloween 2020 crates for Benham, Z-23, and Ognavoy. The Steel Redeemer campaign will run through November 9th, and the Admiralty backing will cost the usual 2,500 doubloons. Next up, Italian cruisers will be out of early access, and they will also receive their first major update. In place of the standard smoke consumable they carried in the early access stage, they will now be equipped with exhaust smoke, or rolling smoke as some call it. For those who may not know, the exhaust smoke generates a cloud of concealment around your ship that moves with your ship. It's not a static smoke cloud, although I don't know if you can go at full speed and enjoy the effect. I think maybe you can. Otherwise, you might have to be going a little slower than full speed. Not entirely sure. We'll see on Monday. Moving on, we have what I think is one of the more interesting changes contained in the patch notes. All of the Russian destroyers are getting buffs. The buffs include better gun range, quicker shifting rudders, improved incapacitation resistance for steering gears and engine modules, faster torpedoes, and longer duration damage control. I'm not going to read the full list of changes to each destroyer, but I do want to touch on the changes being made to my favorite tech tree Russian destroyer, the Tashkent. On the Tashkent, gun range will be improved from 9.9 to 10.9 kilometers on both hulls. Rudder shift will be decreased from 8.5 to 7.6 seconds on hull A and 6.1 to 5.4 seconds on hull B. There will be a decreased chance for steering gears and engines to receive critical hits. And finally, the default torp speed for the short-range torps on the Tashkent will be increased from 65 to 70 knots, and the upgraded long-range torpedoes will have their speed increased from 55 to 60 knots. This is exciting news for me, because the Tashkent is one of my favorite destroyers in the game, and these changes sound like they might contribute to making it a little bit more competitive at Tier 7. Please note, however, that there is nothing in the patch notes about Russian destroyer turret traverse time being buffed, so the tech tree line will likely still have the slowest traversing turrets of any destroyer line, but they might also have the longest gun range. And finally, we come to the last piece of big news, a special Halloween event called Rust and Rumble. Patch notes describe this as a post-apocalyptic destroyer team deathmatch featuring 4 teams of specially prepared destroyers slugging it out in a sunken and decrepit cityscape. There is, however, a catch. No hiding in these destroyers. Everyone will be able to see everyone else. The event ships themselves will have different strengths, none of them will have smokes, and this should, as Wargaming puts it, translate into a good old shootout. You will receive 3 fully ranked up event commanders to helm your vessels for this special event, which will begin on October 19th. Additional details about the event will be shared on October 15th. And that's about all there is of major substance for this update. I will list 2 balance changes contained in the patch notes and highlight a key miscellaneous improvement before we finish up here. And the miscellaneous improvement is something that everybody has been looking forward to, or at least a lot of people have asked for quite a while now. The balance changes, though. Number 1, Alidad, the special skill on Henry J. Hyde, will be slightly buffed. The guaranteed ricochet angles have been halved from 1 to 4 degrees to 0.5 to 2 degrees, depending on ranked. And the British destroyers Icarus, Jervis, and Lightning will lose access to the propulsion mod. If you have these mods installed, they will be removed from the aforementioned ships and added to your inventory. Now, the miscellaneous change that I think is particularly noteworthy, you will now be able to ping map sectors by selecting them on the tactical map. The signal will be visible to all of your teammates for a few seconds, and each alert will be accompanied by a sound and a battle log message. So you'll finally be able to ping, it sounds like, certain grid squares on the map, which is a feature that people have been asking for quite a long time, and as long as it's easy to do in the heat of battle, might make calling out certain things to your teammates a little clearer and a little better. Before we end things, though, I'll list the premium ships that are planned to be added at some point during this update, besides the campaign reward ship Benham, and they are the Tier 6 British cruiser Cheshire. Not sure if that's a light cruiser or a heavy cruiser, but it would be pretty neat if it was another heavy cruiser. The Tier 5 American battleship West Virginia, which will be the 3rd Tier 5 premium American battleship. Hopefully it's a little bit different than the Arizona or the California. And finally, the Tier 6 Soviet destroyer Ognavoy, which is available for the tabs currency under the Rust and Rumble tab when the special Halloween event is live. The other 2, the West Virginia and Cheshire, are available for doubloons. Now, that's pretty much all there is to the update. Again, I linked a Flamu video in the description so that you can see what the Benham looks like. I believe it is a very high tier destroyer in the PC, and it's coming to Tier 6. So hopefully they've nerfed it quite a bit, because it did, at least at the time of Flamu's video, have a bit of a reputation for being overpowered on the PC. I'll be interested to take a look at it on Monday and give you guys a preview as soon as possible after the update goes live. So that's all I'll say about the destroyer for now, and we'll talk more about that next week. As for this game here, we have racked up 100,000 points in damage, and I just want to point out something with this Nelson. He is angled very well, and if I didn't know to shoot right at his bow, he might have bounced all my shots, but I know exactly where to shoot to kill a Nelson, and so that Nelson is dead. This game here is about to end, though, and so is this video. If you'd like to read the patch notes for yourself, I've left a link in the description. Thank you for watching, and if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing if you haven't already done that. Thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.